Turn back out. How did they allow this to happen? Cosgrove, shout out Cosgrove.
Today we're going to be looking at moments that they were never supposed to get away with, but somehow did. So instances where they actually did get caught will not be included. These are only times where they successfully got away with it, like Kevin Durant did right here, as hard as it is to believe.
Yeah, I knew he was going to say this one. Nah, that was crazy.
How do you miss that?
No, that was crazy.
It actually didn't end up costing them the game, but unfortunately, the same can't be said for Portland.
Who was that on the ground, KD?
It ended up costing them the game, but
Green.
unfortunately, the same can't be said for Portland. Now, this one isn't nearly as obvious as the KD one, but boy, did it hurt way more. At least for me, anyways. Back in 2017, the Wizards were visiting the Blazers. With the game in overtime and only about 6 seconds left, I thought there was a good chance my Blazers were gonna walk away with the victory.
Are you a Blazers
but then
fan?
heartbreak happened. Not only did Markieff Morris knock down the game winner, but he did it in a way that made me go to bed absolutely furious.
What?
Cosgrove, you good, gang? Like, what the fuck was that?
The referees failed to see was that Markieff Morris's foot was on the line when he caught the ball. That basket should have never happened.
But that's nothing compared to the anger Pistons fans must have felt back in 1988. Instead of stepping out of bounds, this was a case where people stepped inbounds when they weren't supposed to. The Pistons faced off against the Lakers in the NBA Finals, and with only 2 seconds left, down by 3 in Game 7, the Pistons unfortunately didn't even get a chance to tie the game. Or at least I should say a fair chance to tie the game, because of how the last possession was handled.
So wow, so they let all the that they had that's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie. People's already started walking on the court. They must knew something. The fans must have already knew that it was a potential. It was gonna tie it up, so they just wanted to run. That is fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, that's fucked up. I ain't gonna lie, I'd be pissed. They ain't even checking or nothing. They ain't stopping or nothing.
People already started to pour out on the court before the game was officially over. 2 cameramen can be seen here blocking Bill Laimbeer's vision while he was trying to inbound the ball, with pretty much the entire Lakers bench getting in the way as well. Laimbeer does manage to get the ball to Isaiah Thomas, but by the looks of it, he was fouled by Magic Johnson immediately after, with an official standing right there to witness it all. But no foul was called. Several things they shouldn't have gotten away with, but did. Here's another example where some interference took place, but it was not met with any punishment.
Nets assistant coach David Vanderpool deflected a Wizards pass attempt intended for Kyle Kuzma that led to a live ball turnover, and nothing was called or reviewed at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking. Watch his head. Watch the official's head. He's looking right at it.
What the official?
My reaction was utter disbelief. I've never seen something happen like that.
And the fact that the Wizards ended up losing by only 1 point makes it look even worse. Now, Nick Nurse didn't deflect the ball or anything, and did keep his hands to himself, but come on, he knew exactly what he was doing here.
Turnover for Boston, Mark, and we wanted to talk about it. Tatum gets the basketball. Nick Nurse is on the baseline, on the sideline. He is looking like a Celtic player. He can't be in this position, so Tatum makes the mistake thinking that Nick Nurse is his teammate. To me, that's wrong.
Okay. No. I mean, yeah, it's wrong that it happened, but bro, y'all team is literally wearing green. How could you can't tell green from gray, bro? Like, bro, you tripping,
It looks
bro.
like Drake is also pretty good at distracting players. Justin Holiday says that he didn't even hear Drake talking in his ear, but I highly doubt that.
No, he most definitely heard him.
Right there.
Because we had a 5-second violation.
To help the cause. And a 5-second.
Didn't we still win that game though?
Talking trash is one thing, but physically trying to impede a player is something else.
No,
Here
that,
comes Scott Foster. And right away, before even deciphering the situation, gives me a tech. Somehow, coming out of all of that commotion, ended up being even. And I think a play like that, that should have been a little bit more there.
Like Jalen said,
No,
somehow
that
they
is
ended
fucked
up
up.
both receiving a tech. So essentially, Niang and the Sixers didn't really get penalized at all. Back in 2006, Dirk Nowitzki became the first 7-footer to win the NBA three-point contest. But what if I told you that technically he shouldn't even have gotten out of the first round?
Here it goes, work two. I don't know if he got it off. He didn't get it off. It did not count. He did not get it off. As we have seen in our replays, the ball is still in his hands as it goes off. Now, there is no replay in the shootout.
As you just heard, they weren't allowed to review it. So
oh damn! So at that time they weren't even allowed to. So really, they.
lucky for Dirk, his
Yeah,
last
he got
shot that
lucky.
shouldn't have counted did. And his
I
Mavericks
mean, he was in the
teammate
shooting
Jason
form.
Terry got screwed, as his score of 13 would have been enough to advance to the next round if it wasn't for Dirk undeservingly getting 14. Now, I would talk about the time when Jason Kidd told one of his players to bump into him and spill his drink on the court when his team had no more timeouts. But again, I'm only talking about times where they actually got away with it. I mean, the tactic almost worked, but he ultimately got fined $50,000 as a result.
50
However,
is-
he did get away with something
50
just
man,
as
imagine
creative.
to lose $50,000 for that, bro. That shit hurt. I know that shit hurt.
Back when he was a player. And I'm talking about the time he intentionally ran into the Hawks head coach, Mike Woodson. A decision that ultimately paid off.
And I took a look up the court and I saw the coach standing, by the three-point line. So my first thought was, can I beat him before he gets out of bounds? Can I run into him and be able to see what the referees call?
And look at you. You were like, what? I didn't do anything. What? I didn't do anything.
When he was on the court, I was just trying to figure out how to change the momentum of the game because we were losing. And Dirk, I'll never forget, Dirk goes, "You're crazy."
No, I ain't gonna lie, that's crazy though. That is interesting. That's very interesting.
Laser hair removal by Laser Away is next level adulting. Life before laser hair removal.
Shout out Cosgrove.